Imagine yourself in the middle of a dark night in the Tsavo region, somewhere deep in the most remote part of East Africa. It's in what is now Kenya. You're sitting alone on a big rocky outcrop under the faint light of the moon. Suddenly, you hear a rustling sound coming from the bushes. Your heart starts pounding fast. You try to push aside your anxiety and reassure yourself that it's probably just the wind. But no, that sound is the heavy breathing of a fierce predator. And this time, you're its prey. Yes, this story is real. Just 2 lions managed to kill more than 135 people in less than a year. In this video, we're going to dive into this terrifying and astonishing mystery and find out what secret lies behind the story of the man-eating lions of Tsavo. If you walk through the grand halls of the Field Museum in Chicago, among all the impressive exhibits, you'll suddenly come across a glass display case with 2 lions inside. But these aren't ordinary lions. Both of them are male, but they don't have those thick, majestic manes you'd expect to see. Their faces are narrow, and their fur is unusually smooth and straight. One of them is lying down calmly, while the other seems alert. It's as if he's guarding a dark secret. If you just walk past them, you won't realize the dark past these lions have. But these are the infamous man-eating lions of Tsavo. The lions that struck terror into the hearts of the people of Kenya in 1898. It's said that these 2 lions killed and ate around 135 people. The story of these lions turned into a scary tale that people would tell around campfires for a long time. And it's even been mentioned in books, movies, and video games. The incident begins in March of 1898. A team of African, Indian, Arab, and English workers, led by a British colonel named John Henry Patterson, came to Kenya to build a bridge over the Tsavo River for the Kenya-Uganda Railway. The water of the Tsavo River is muddy and yellow. You can't see anything in it. Maybe a hippo or a giant crocodile is right under your feet and you wouldn't even know. That's why crossing the river has a strange, scary feeling. Anyway, from the beginning, it seemed everything was cursed. The word Tsavo in the local language means place of massacre or slaughter site. Blood spilled on this land. Because in this area, many tribes attacked each other and killed one another. Maybe it's because of all that spilled blood that this place is always shrouded in bad luck. In 1898, the continent of Africa was still full of mysteries and unknowns for Europeans. The whole route was filled with hostile tribes and, of course, lions. Workers had come to build a railway that would boost trade. But was it really worth it? In this project, thousands of Indian workers, along with a few Africans and British, worked under the scorching sun. They had little food and often got sick. They slept in thin tents and were in danger at every moment. Meanwhile, the British managers had better food and shelter. However, things got even worse when 2 man-eating lions entered the scene. Of course, from a philosophical point of view, maybe this was Africa's last attempt to stop industrialization and the arrival of the British Empire. Anyway, the problem of the man-eating lions goes way back, long before the railway was built. Previously, only Arab slave caravans used to pass through Tsavo. They would pit tribes against each other and take the captives to sell. On the way to the slave markets, many would die or become so weak that they were abandoned in the middle of the desert. Then, when the lions found the lifeless or half-dead bodies of the slaves, they would eat them, and that's how the lions got used to the taste of human flesh. Of course, in general, the temperament, behavior, and habits of the lions in the Tsavo region are different from, for example, the lions of the Masai Mara, which is the most famous wildlife area in Kenya. The Masai Mara is like a real paradise. Lush, green, and full of prey. Lions there can easily find food, so the chances of them becoming man-eaters are very low. But the Tsavo region, which has the highest number of lions after the Masai Mara, has some truly dangerous lions that you just can't approach or see up close easily. The Tsavo lions are truly real hunters. They're like killing machines, always hungry, because there just isn't enough prey in this region. So, when the workers came to build the bridge, rumors about man-eating lions started to spread. At first, Patterson didn't believe that the reason for the workers' disappearances could be that lions had eaten them. He thought maybe the workers were killing each other for money and gold. But when it got to the point where someone disappeared every day, he realized the situation was serious. On the other hand, since most of the workers were Indian, unlike the African workers, they had no idea how to protect themselves in the wild and were easy prey. In short, fear gradually took hold of the workers. At night, they would light fires around the camp and build barbed wire fences, but it was no use. The lions were smarter than that. Most of the workers didn't even have weapons. Even so, if there was a gun somewhere, the lions would cleverly attack a different spot. Every night, they would go after a new camp. That's why it wasn't easy for Patterson to guess which camp they'd target that night. Once, they caught a lion in a trap, but it was so strong that it broke the trap and escaped. The people were so scared they couldn't shoot properly, and by mistake, they shot open the trap and the lion got away. This was just pure bad luck for Patterson. Some people said these lions sometimes just killed people without eating them, meaning they killed just for the sake of killing, not to satisfy their hunger. But the last time, when the lions attacked a camp, they grabbed a man, dragged him over the wall, and ate him nearby. This whole ordeal was truly like a real-life nightmare. At night, people would climb on top of water tanks or up into trees to stay safe from the lions. One night, a whole tree fell down with all the people in it. Things got so bad that construction on the bridge stopped because so many people ran away out of fear. So Patterson decided to hunt the lions himself and put an end to this story. That's why he set out after the lions with 20 armed men. After months of pursuit, one night in December 1898, Patterson finally managed to find one of the lions. He found a dead donkey to use as bait, and since there wasn't a tree nearby, he had to build himself a wooden platform about 3 meters away from the donkey's carcass. He was sure that the wild lions would come for the carcass at night. Suddenly, the sound of a branch snapping was heard, and a large creature moved through the bushes. Very soon, a deep, long breath was heard from the bushes, a sign of hunger. But everything changed very quickly. The hunter became the hunted. Instead of going toward the donkey, the lion slowly made its way toward Patterson's platform. The lion circled Patterson's wooden platform for 2 terrifying hours. If one of the posts had broken, or if the lion could jump 3 meters, Patterson would have seriously regretted this foolishness. But before the lion could get close, Patterson fired his gun toward the sound without even seeing the lion. At last, he heard a series of deep groans, and then the sound stopped. The lion was dead. Patterson was saved, and the men of the camp gathered around him, congratulating him and calling him their savior. This truly gigantic lion was nearly 3 meters in length and stood well over a meter tall. So it consequently took 8 strong people to lift its massive body. But the story wasn't over yet. 20 days later, Patterson finally managed to find the second lion. This lion was much more cunning and escaped every time. But finally, one night, it came after the herd of goats. Patterson wounded it with a gunshot. He tried several more times to shoot it until finally, with a shot to its chest and head, he finished the lion off. After these 2 lions were killed, the workers returned and finished the bridge by February 1899. This incident caused quite a stir in Kenya and even in the British Parliament. Patterson kept the lion skins until 1925, when he sold them to the Chicago Museum. Now, those lions are on display in the museum's exhibitions. But there are various theories about the man-eating lions of Tsavo. Some people say that, according to studies by the Field Museum in Chicago, one of the lions had an infected tooth, and maybe that's why it started hunting humans instead of its usual prey, because humans were easier targets. Others believe that diseases like rinderpest wiped out their usual prey. That's why the lions were forced to turn to eating humans. And some even think that there was some kind of black magic or mysterious local tribal rituals behind these attacks. There's also a fourth group who say that humans deliberately drove the lions to become man-eaters. But honestly, I personally think this story wasn't just about two lions. This story is about humanity's age-old fears. It's about the thin line between hunter and prey. What do you think? In your opinion, what was the main reason these lions became man-eaters? Be sure to share your thoughts in the comments. The story of the Man-Eating Lions of Tsavo has inspired a lot of books and movies, including the famous film, The Ghost and the Darkness. As for Patterson's character, they say he was an English gentleman, a good and kind person, not an animal killer. But those lions caused a lot of trouble during the construction of the railway and killed many people. But in any case, the story of the Tsavo lions also reminds us that sometimes, in the heart of nature, we are just guests. So maybe sometimes, instead of always trying to control it, we should truly endeavor to understand nature, learn deeply from its inherent wisdom, and profoundly respect its intricate ways.